Okay, it's Thanksgiving. Stop watering gardens. Okay.
Hi, says the girl with the right eyes that pairs pretty well when she hits you with the soft smile.
Hi friends, it's Rory, and today is an exciting video. It is the first of a series for the end of the year. I decided to move to where we have our Christmas tree, along with the fact that there is no one here currently, because technically I'm filming this on Thanksgiving. And both of my roommates work. And I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, and I'm not going home, so I figured I'd do this out here. So with the end of the year coming, you start to look on to the next year, hope and pray that it is better than what this year has been, and kind of like start to think about making plans and books specifically that are coming out. Last year I did 2 videos where I talked about 20 books that I was excited for in 2020. I did a non-LGBT version and an LGBT version. And so that's kind of what this one is, except we're doing it a little bit differently. So I'm going to be doing 3 separate videos. I'm going to be doing a non-LGBT version, a Sapphic version, and a non-female-female relationship LGBT video. The reason for that is that there are so many Sapphic books coming out, and I myself am a lesbian, so I care a lot about the Sapphic books coming out, that it would basically just be Sapphic books for the LGBT video, which isn't exactly that fair. So I decided to make that its own video, and I am queer, so I want to kind of like show, like raise up these LGBT books. That being said, we're gonna get started with the Sapphic ones because once again, I'm a lesbian and I said so. And for each of these videos, I'm going to have 10 books. It was really a struggle actually to limit to only the 10 books that I'm most excited about. But we got there. I spent approximately 5 hours putting these lists together, like looking over everything. And so let's go ahead and get started. These are in order of the book that I am most excited for on this list, down to the 10th most excited. It may be like interchangeable, but the first one I bring up on each video is the one that I'm most excited about. Along with that, before I get started, I did want to give a thank you to Teresa from Sappho's Library and Amber and Sasha with their blog, Sasha and Amber Read. I got most of these books from those blogs, and then I did my own research. I will be linking them down below as well. Along with that, every book that I mentioned, the link to the Goodreads will be down there if you want to check them out, add them to your want to read list, yada yada. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is I Think I Love You by Ariane Desambre. I have my laptop right here, by the way, and that's where I'm reading the synopsis out. Arch nemesis Emma, a diehard romantic, and more practical-minded Sophia find themselves competing against one another for a coveted first prize trip to a film festival in Los Angeles. What happens if their rivalry turns into a romance? And that releases on March 2nd. If you have known me for quite a while, you know that enemies to lovers and rivals to lovers is one of my favorite fucking things in the entire world. I adore them. I think they're so fun every single time. It's just like, dang. I've just been ingesting like enemies and rivals to lovers stories my entire life, and so it has become my main form of romance. Like if someone's like enemies to lovers, I'm like, hey, what's up? Also, I'm really interested in this book because it kind of has like an everything points to you feel to me, where it's just like about movies, and I really enjoyed the movie aspect of that. And this is about 2 people and they're making movies and they're rivals who become lovers. What's not to like? What's not to like? Plus, gorgeous cover. This cover legitimately makes me so happy. I looked at it and I was like, it's over for me. It's over. It automatically became my number one book that I'm most looking forward to in the next year. Up next, One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. The synopsis is a 23-year-old realizes her subway crush is displaced from 1970s Brooklyn, and she must do everything in her power to help her and try not to fall in love with the girl lost in time before it's too late. And that releases on May 6th. This book, first of all, I absolutely adore Red, White, and Royal Blue, and Casey McQuiston, they're the writer of it. So I follow them, and I saw the original tweet announcing this, and it was just very exciting. And then the past couple of weeks, a bunch of people have gotten their arcs and they've read through, and everyone says it's amazing, and I'm so excited. Like, honestly, I'm really, really excited. Just, first of all, Sapphic. Second of all, like, time travel and, like, someone lost in time. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. I'm not important enough to get an arc at all. So, like, it doesn't really matter if I'm saying, like, give it to me, because I'm not going to. But I will be buying this on May 6th. I'm so excited. It's going to go right next to my copy of Red, White, and Royal Blue. So excited. Okay, the next book. First of all, before I even say the title of it or, like, read the synopsis, I need you guys to know that I saw the cover of this and I screamed, like, physically out loud, screamed. I'm so excited about this book. It's called She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. After losing spectacularly to her ex-girlfriend in their first game since their breakup, Scotty gets into a fender bender with the worst possible person, her nemesis, the incredibly beautiful and incredibly mean Irene. Things only get worse when their nosy do-gooder moms get involved, and the girls are forced to do carpool together until Irene's car gets out of the shop. Their bumpy start only gets bumpier the more time they spend together. But when an opportunity presents itself for Scotty to get back at her toxic ex, she bribes Irene into playing along. Hijinks, heartbreak, and gay fake dating schemes for the ages. It's become kind of like a joke now that the gays love fake dating fan fiction, and I am one of those gays. I adore it. Along with that, as you can see from the cover, this is very much looks like a sports romance type thing. I mentioned it in my Heartbreaker review that I fucking love sport romance, and along with that, if you follow me on Twitter, you've probably heard me bullying my friend Nerali, which, by the way, follow Nerali, that she needs to write a hockey figure skater romance book, because I desperately want her to. And along with that, I've mentioned a whole bunch of other, like, Sapphic things that I wanted, including a book that's based on this meme, which why haven't anyone written this yet? Just, like, something about cheerleaders and sport players just, like, gets to me. And so I saw this cover and I knew it was immediately going to be, like, one of my favorites for next year. I'm so excited. I can't wait to read it. Oh, by the way, that comes out April 20th. Then we have The Girl from the Sea by Molly Ostertag. The synopsis for that is 15-year-old Morgan has a secret. She can't wait to escape the perfect little island where she lives. She's desperate to finish high school and escape her sad divorced mom, her volatile little brother, and worst of all, her great group of friends who don't understand Morgan at all. Because really, Morgan's biggest secret is that she has a lot of secrets, including the one about wanting to kiss another girl. Then one night, Morgan is saved from drowning by a mysterious girl named Kelty. The two become friends, and suddenly life on the island doesn't seem so stifling anymore. But Kelty has some secrets of her own, and as the two girls start to fall in love, everything they're each trying to hide will find its way to the surface, whether Morgan is ready or not. And that releases on June 1st. This book is about it's a graphic novel. It's about mermaids. I love Molly Ostertag. So I read her first graphic novel series, which is the Witch Boy series. It's great. I haven't read the last one, but the first two are great. I'm waiting for my library to get the last one, but COVID has completely ruined it and they haven't gotten as many new books as I would like them to. I've put in a request. I desperately want to read it. And then during quarantine, Molly Ostertag started to write a like Lord of the Rings rewrite fan fiction, and it's so fucking good. Like, my God, read it. If you have any, like, if you want to read a fan fiction where Frodo and Sam are gay and just the entirety of Lord of the Rings is retold in it, do it. It's so good, I swear to God. And so when she tweeted announcing this book, so excited. I was immediately, like, I told my roommates, I told people at work, I was like, don't talk to me when this is released because that's all I'm going to be able to talk about. I literally tweeted, I was like, don't talk to me. This is the only thing I'm going to be talking about for the rest of my life, for the next week. I've wanted this for forever. Fuck. And it's just like, I'm so excited. Also, mermaids. Queer mermaids. Graphic novel, queer mermaids. So excited. Up next, Some Girls Do by Jennifer Dugan. Morgan, an elite track athlete, is forced to transfer high schools late in her senior year after it turns out being queer is against her private Catholic school code of conduct. There she meets Ruby, who has two hobbies, tinkering with her baby blue 1970s Ford Torino and competing in local beauty pageants, the latter to live out the dream of her overbearing mother. The two are drawn to each other and can't deny their growing feelings. But while Morgan, out and proud and determined to have a fresh start, doesn't want to have to keep their budding relationship a secret, Ruby isn't ready to come out yet. With each girl on a different path towards living her truth, can they go the distance together? That releases May 18th, so I'll probably grab it for my birthday. Once again, it's all about the sport gays. Write more books about sport gays. I desperately want them. My Adorakin is like popping out so hardcore. It's ridiculous. I'm really excited about it. First of all, gorgeous cover. Like, this, out of all of the covers that I'm looking at, is probably the prettiest one. It's just absolutely stunning. My God. Ruby being like a beauty pageant, but she likes to tinker with cars and she's in the closet, and also a lesbian bi romance because fuck that biphobia, lesbophobia shit and make out instead. I'm really excited. And like I said, it comes out a few days before my birthday, so I may grab it for myself as a gift. Okay, let's go. The Dead in the Dark by Courtney Gold. Something is wrong in Snakebite, Oregon. Teenagers are disappearing, some turning up dead, the weather isn't normal, and all fingers seem to point to TV's most popular ghost hunters who have just returned to town. Logan Ortiz Woodley, daughter of TV's Paraspectors, has never been to Snakebite before, but the moment she and her dads arrive, she starts to get the feeling that there's more secrets buried here than they originally let on. Ashley Barton's boyfriend was the first teen to go missing, and she's felt his presence ever since. But now that the Ortiz Woodleys are in town, his ghost is following her, and the only person Ashley can trust is the mysterious Logan. When Ashley and Logan team up to figure out who or what is haunting Snakebite, their investigation reveals truths about the town and their families and themselves that neither of them are ready for. As the danger intensifies, they realize that their growing feelings for each other could be a light in the darkness. August 3rd is the release of this book. Looks so great. As I've mentioned several times in the past couple of videos, I fucking adore ghost stories, like stories where someone can see ghosts, like paranormal stories like that. And that was what the author described this as. When this was announced, she was literally just like, lesbians who can see and talk to ghosts, and I was like, sign me the fuck up. I'm here for it. Bitch, take my money. I'm really, really excited. Also, once again, I have to point out when there are gorgeous covers, and this cover is absolutely stunning. So excited. So excited. And also, she's the, I forgot what I was gonna say, because I suck. Anyways, up next, Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. With her newly completed PhD in astronomy in hand, 28-year-old Grace Porter goes on a girls' trip to Vegas to celebrate. She's a straight A, work through the summer certified high achiever. She is not the kind of person who goes to Vegas and gets drunkenly married to a woman whose name she does not know, until she does exactly that. This one moment of departure from her stern ex-military father's plans for her life has Grace wondering why she doesn't feel more fulfilled from completing her degree. Staggering under the weight of her father's expectations, a struggling job market, and feelings of burnout, Grace flees her home in Portland for a summer in New York with the wife she barely knows. Are you fucking kidding me? That sounds amazing. By the way, that comes out February 23rd. If you've been on my channel a while, you know that I mostly read YA. And the reason for that is that I find adult books really hard to kind of like traverse. Like, it's really easy kind of to go through and know, oh, I like contemporaries about hard subjects like grief and yada yada yada, and I enjoy light fantasies, light sci-fi, and kind of magical realism books. And it's really easy to find stuff in YA, and that's because I've been like doing that for my entire life, but I haven't had the ability to kind of like gain the knowledge to do that on the adult side, and there's so much. And so this is kind of the only adult novel on these lists, and it's my it's my kind of branching out, trying to figure out how to get into these kind of books, like trying to figure out my reading taste for adult novels. I saw the cover and I loved it. It's beautiful. A lot of these, it's like I saw the cover when the author tweeted their announcement and I fell in love with them. But in this situation, the author really did tweet their announcement. I saw the cover and I went, I want to read it. I didn't even realize it was an adult book. I just instantly wanted to read it. And then I read the synopsis, and that sounds fucking entertaining. It's like, what's that one movie where they get married and they're forced to live together for like, they're forced to not get a divorce for a year because they win the money? Is it like What Happens in Vegas? I'm pretty sure that's the title of it. But that reminded me of like a low-key What Happens in Vegas type vibe, and I was really interested in it. But along with that, I used to be a gifted kid in high school, and along with that comes the stereotypical gifted kid burnout. I went to college and it was kind of low-key hard for me because I'd gone my entire school life of just like of kind of easily being able to do things, and then I was brought into college where I was forced to like actually try. A lot of characters I relate to are like that, and this is basically what this book is. So I'm excited to read it, and I really, really hope that I like it, and I hope that it leads me to more adult books. Once again, if you have any recommendation of adult books that you think I'll like, leave them in the comments. Up next is Hanny and Ishus Guide to Fake Dating by Adiba Jagadar, who is the author of The Henna Wars. Everyone likes Hanny. She's easygoing and one of the most popular girls at school, but when she comes out to her friends as bisexual, they invalidate her identity, saying that she can't be bi if she only dates guys. Panicked, Hanny blurts out that she's in a relationship with a girl her friends absolutely hate, Ishus. Ishus is the complete opposite of Hanny. She's an academic overachiever who hopes that becoming head girl will set her on the right track for college. But Ishus agrees to help Hanny. if Hanny will help her become more popular so that she stands a chance of being elected head girl. Despite their mutually beneficial pact, they start developing real feelings for each other. But relationships are complicated, and some people will do anything to stop two girls from achieving happily ever after. So, like I mentioned, Adiba is the author of The Henna Wars, and I read that this year. Absolutely adored it. It was so great. It was so good. And so I saw that she was releasing another book next year, and I was just like, well, I'm gonna read it. There's nothing else for me to say. I'm going to read it. It's on my list. But along with that, once again, I fucking love fake dating. I love fake dating stories. They're always so great. It's just like such a fan fiction trope, but now it's in like real books, and I really think that she can do it justice. And just like bringing in that like you can't be bi if you only date men type thing is just such an issue that like people, especially bi women, have. It just feels it's like awful, and I hate it, but I'm glad that it's something that's being brought up, because it's legitimately an awful stereotype, because you don't have to date anyone to still feel attraction to them. Yada yada yada. Anyways, I'm really excited. Let's continue on. Up next we have Gear Breakers by Zoe Hana Mikuta. This book definitely seems like it would be out of my element, because I'm not the biggest like hard sci-fi. Just like I don't like high fantasy, I don't really like hard sci-fi, and this definitely feels like a hard sci-fi, but the synopsis has me really, really excited about it, so I think I'm gonna give it a try, and hopefully it'll break out of my like set I don't read sci-fi type thing. And the synopsis is: the shadow of Godelia's tyrannical rule is spreading, aided by their giant mechanized weapons known as windups. War and oppression are everyday constants for the people of the Badlands, who live under the thumb of their cruel Gordelia overlords. Eris is a gearbreaker, a brash young rebel who specializes in taking down windups from the inside. When one of her missions goes awry and she finds herself in prison, Eris meets Sona, a cybernetically enhanced windup pilot. At first, Eris sees Sona as her mortal enemy, but Sona has a secret. She's intentionally infiltrated the windup program to destroy Gordelia from within. As the clock ticks down to their deadliest mission yet, a direct attack to end Gordelia's reign once and for all, Eris and Sona grow close, as comrades, friends, and perhaps something more. So I found this while I was looking through Sasha and Amber's blog, and the cover's gorgeous, first of all. I wasn't sure. I put it down as a list of potentials. I had like a giant list of books that I wanted to check out, and then I did research on them, which meant I went to Goodreads, and then I looked at the author's Twitter. The author's Twitter is what got me. Here's why. Because the Twitter says, "Found family, a crew of dumbass, big-hearted, renegade kids, cyberpunk Saphics tattooing each other as a form of affection, TM." Found family, first of all, is my favorite trope ever. I love it so much. But along with that, just tattooing each other as a form of affection. I can't. It's so good. Along with that, this, like, the being in jail and, like, thinking of each other as enemies and then kind of coming together reminds me a lot of a book called The Star Host, which is kind of like I think it's an independently published science fiction book. It's also queer, but it's MLM, and I will link it somewhere. I've talked about it in my video where I talk about every queer book that I've read. The first one's great, other ones after that kind of but the concept of this reminds me of a Sapphic version of that, and I really liked the concept of that, so I'm hoping that I will enjoy this just as much. So let's hope that I don't curse myself because I never read sci-fi because I don't really like sci-fi, but this sounds so cool. And the last of the Sapphic books is A Beautiful Doom by Laura Pohl. After the mysterious death of their best friend, Ella, Yuki, and Rory are the talk of their elite school, Grimrose Academy. The police ruled it as a suicide, but the trio are determined to find out what really happened. When Nani arrives as their newest roommate, it sets into motion a series of events they couldn't have imagined. As the girls retrace their friends' last steps, they uncover dark secrets about themselves and their destinies, discovering they're all cursed to repeat the brutal and gruesome ending to their stories until they can break the cycles. Basically, from what I can tell, this is like girls that are fairy tale reimaginings. Are you done? And they're kind of like cursed to repeat the end of these stories, like in the way that they're murdered. And it's basically kind of like a thriller to try to figure out what's happening. And that seems really interesting to me. That seems so fun. I love fairy tale reimaginings. Also, one of the girls is named Ella, which makes you think she's gonna be Cinderella. And if you know me, you know that I'm a slut for any Cinderella retelling, or anything to do with Cinderella. Yeah, it just seems really entertaining, and it's a thriller, and I have good, like, I don't read a lot of thrillers, but any thriller that I read, I end up enjoying. So let's hope that I enjoy this one. Okay. And that is the end of this video, which is the Sapphic books that I am looking forward to in 2020. Specifically the ones that end in women loving women relationships. There are a couple of Sapphic books on the other one where they don't end up with women loving women relationships, which I'm really excited about, but that's for that video. As always, I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day. There's a link down below to where you can register to vote. Along with that, any different social movements that are going on right now, there will be information on them down below, ways that you can help, ways that you can support the different movements. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye!
They don't wanna talk, they don't wanna feel the voice in my head saying I don't think I'm. They don't wanna talk, they don't wanna feel the voice in my head saying I don't think I'm real, 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 I don't think I'm. I don't know where my head's been at.